welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Ari, and especially today, well, so nice to meet you. So as you can see by the title in this video, I think this video is very much overdue. I should have done this video, or at least something similar, when I started vlogging, when I started my YouTube channel. This video is a little bit of me introducing myself to you guys. When I started my blog, I never, I just started. I just went for it, I had fun. It never crossed my mind that I should have introduced myself. I should have shared a little bit more about myself, who I was, what I was doing, and I just went with it. When I started my blog, it was just like, oh, okay, I'm having fun, I'm being creative, and I started uploading things, and I never, shared more about myself. And some of you have been following me for a long time, and you may have known and learned a few things about me, and I know a few of you might be really new here, so I thought, hey, okay, I want to start doing a little bit more on YouTube. I want to start sharing, so I think it's time for me to really introduce myself. But yeah, just why and how I started my blog, and just to get to know each other a little bit better. My name is Ari. Well, that's my nickname. So Ari, A-R-I. My full name is Adriana, but I'll write it here because I know in English it can sound a little bit of a mouthful. It's Adriana Alvarez-Tostado Güemes. Okay, so that's a long name, and that is just my maiden name. So a lot of you might know that I'm married, and none of those last names are my husband's. If you're familiar with Spanish last names, they tend to be pretty long, pretty intense. There is Alvarez-Tostado, so Tostado, this part here, is where the name of my blog and YouTube channel comes from, TheToastyLife. So Tostado pretty much means toasted. Alright, I'm explaining my last name. So yeah, that's where it came from. So TheToastyLife. It's me. Since I was a baby, my dad started calling me Ari. So Ari, and just called me like that, and I grew up with it. And actually, it's very common in Mexico to Adrianas, they get called Adri. And I've never been able to get used to it. Some people do, if they don't know me that well, it's very easy to call you that name. It's like the easy nickname for that name. It's like Jimmy, things like that. I don't know if that's a good example, but anyway. A little detailed backstory. I am Mexican, but I was born in the States. I was born in New Jersey, actually. My parents were moved a lot for work due to my dad's job, and we were transferred a lot. My brother was born abroad as well. My parents lived in a few countries before we were born, and then he got an offer to move back to Mexico. Most of my family's from where my grandparents lived, cousins, everybody. So my parents were thrilled to move back. We were really young, so we didn't really have a say in it. But yeah, I grew up in Mexico City. Loved it, and still love it. It was amazing. And then a few years ago, as some of you might know, I'm a tennis player. I decided to start coming to Texas to train. So I started coming here to go to a few tennis academies, and it was just easier here in the States to do that. So yeah, that's how I made it to Texas. My dad really always loved San Antonio, so eventually they bought a home here. And when I decided I wanted to play tennis a little bit more seriously, Texas, if you know, is a really good place to do so. They have really good programs, really good tennis academies here. Here in San Antonio, that's how I met Arturo. If you've been following around, Arturo is now my husband. Yeah, we were married. Yeah, we met. It's a whole other story, but we met playing tennis. We literally met on a tennis court, so it's like, oh. Wait, that was a bad heart. That was supposed to be, okay. Dated for a few years and finally got married. We got married 3 years ago. So if you follow my blog, if you follow my Instagram mostly, you see that Arturo's a big part of it, even though he's not in this social media influencer, whatever you want to call it, world, but he does help me. He takes most of my photos. He helps me a lot with the back, whatever you guys don't see, like the business side of blogging that a lot of us don't necessarily think about when you think about blogging. Yeah, so he's really good with that, and thankfully, because I am not good with numbers. So anyway, we still live in San Antonio. This is where we met. Arturo graduated school from here, and he got a job here, and we really like it in San Antonio, but he's also from Mexico. He's from, if you guys are familiar, he's from northern Mexico, so closer to McAllen, Texas. So we're open, but we really like San Antonio. It's a really nice place to live, so we're here now. We have no kids, just a dog, big dog. We have a Newfoundland dog, and if you're not familiar, there's a video of what it's actually like to live with a Newfie and what they're like, so you can watch that. But yeah, so we have a 2-year-old Newfie. He's pretty funny. He makes very frequent appearances on my Instagram and Instagram stories. Why I started my blog, I said I want to get into how I started and tips about that in another video, but just so you know a little bit about myself. So like I said, I was here playing tennis, training, traveling a lot for tennis, and it got to a point where I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed. If you know, playing a competitive sport, professional sport, it is intense. So I wanted to have a creative outlet. I've always been very creative, very active. I've always loved style, loved fashion, so that's not something new. That was a little. I remember telling Arturo, we were dating back then, and I remember telling him, like, I want to do something different. I want to have like this online magazine that's like code for blog, but I didn't know that. Anyway, so I told him I want to do like this, just like share like restaurants where I go when I travel, like travel tips, stuff like that. And Arturo would say like, oh, you want to start a blog? And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to start a blog. I really did not know. I actually didn't know what a blog was. I figured a blog was just very much like political blogs, you know, like stuff like, like, forgive me, this is like somebody that did not know a few years ago. I thought it was just like people that needed a platform to like vent their conspiracy theories. I do not mean this in a wrong way. I just did not think about blogging. Just an everyday girl could have blog. Anyway, I followed 2 bloggers back then, I think. He said, okay, yeah, let's start, you know, he kind of like set me up with this like build your own website and stuff like that. I personally decided to start from scratch. So I started a brand new Instagram. I knew my parents have never been big on social media, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna use my personal account, which has like photos of my family and stuff like that. I would much rather just be something for me, like something personal, something creative, just a hobby, an outlet. So that's what we did. Started from scratch, and I started basically, because I get this question a lot, what do you start talking about? What do you write about? Whatever. This is very personal. This is whatever you like. What is your niche? What do you like to talk about? So what I started doing is basically I was writing maybe a blog for myself, sharing, you know, new spots that were opening in town. I did start my blog here in San Antonio. That's why if you're newer to my blog, you may see that it's bilingual, so you see it in English and Spanish. Also my Instagram. But back then, like if this was like 50 years ago, no, a couple of years ago, stories weren't in the picture yet. Instagram stories were not in the picture. So I was doing everything in English because I felt like, okay, so I'm starting my blog in San Antonio, you know, it has to be in English. And then I realized, okay, so a big chunk of my life is in Mexico, and it is who I am, you know, I am Mexican. And I decided to go, you know, have content in both languages. And let me just say that at first I thought it had to be about travel and tips and here and there and food, and oh my god, I am the worst foodie ever. Sometimes I remember and I take a really cool photo of my food, and most of the times I'm like halfway down my burger when I realize like, oh gosh, I should have taken a photo of that. Since I was also sharing a little bit about my style and stuff like that, that worked better, and I was getting a little bit more questions than that, so I decided that to focus more on style and travel and fashion, and then later I started sharing a little bit more. What can you find on my blog now? It is a little bit of personal stuff, you know, lifestyle blog. You do see a little bit about, you know, what we do in our life, and then as far as fashion and style, you know, share my style. And I also like to share a few tips, you know, trends, what to expect for the new season, how to wear certain trends. And if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, I tend to do some videos, but I try to do more like ideas, you know, 4 ways, 5, 6 ways to wear the same top or things like that. Just something that might be useful for you guys, or even for, sometimes I do these videos for myself because I think like, well, I don't want to wear the skirt again. So yes, you want to wear the skirt again because you can wear it many different ways. So that's what I do. I do share a little bit of travel and YouTube. I was very late to the party on YouTube, and not because I didn't like it. Well, yeah, partly yes. So I didn't really start a YouTube channel because, like I say, blogging was an outlet, and I love photography, I love writing. So I didn't really see the need for YouTube. I didn't really watch YouTube. I was missing out on a lot, you know, here on YouTube. Once I started growing a little bit more with my blog and everything, I realized that there's some things that I would rather much share like this, face to face, if you can say that. I think it's a fun way to share more about my personality, and there's some things that are so much easier to watch it than to read it. A couple of fun facts about myself. Oh, birthday, start with basics. My birthday is March 8th, so that's actually International Women's Day, so woohoo. But I am a Pisces, and I do love water, and I was pretty much the Little Mermaid growing up. Whatever you say, I was the Little Mermaid. Nobody could get me out of the water. So I think that's on point. Favorite food. This is like a basic fun one. I really don't have a favorite food because I really like everything. I think I can live off of French fries. Probably if they were actually better for you, I would have it in my daily diet. I have a terrible sweet tooth. I love candy, love candy, and I've had to control myself because I think growing up I did have a problem. I absolutely love, I think I'm more of a person, I'm a cravings person. I can eat like a bag, like a tacky sized bag, like this size. I love chips, yeah. But as far as food, you know, I love sushi, I love pizza, I love burgers, I like fries, very much junk food. But no, during the week I try to eat healthier, you know, again, maybe something for another video here, because I know I love junk food and I love going out to eat. I gotta balance it out or something is gonna happen. Least favorite food. I actually grew up hating, and to the day, if I can avoid it, I do my best to avoid it. I hate avocado. I think I am the shame of the Mexican culture because I do not like avocado. Since I was growing up, I remember my grandmother would tell me like, you're gonna love it one day, you haven't tried it. And I was like, I swear I have tried it and I just can't have it. It's one of those flavors that really like stands out. You know, when you're eating something and you don't like it and the only thing you can taste is that, yeah, that's me with avocado. I've learned to eat it more kind of like in guacamole and like with lime and something more mixed into it, and for me it has more flavor. It's funny because now it's all over Instagram. You see avocado toast. You will never see an avocado toast on my Instagram, or at least it's not mine. If you see it, it's because I probably stole it from Arturo or something. I'm not a diva, you know, if it comes out with avocado, I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, it's fine, I'll eat it. I'm not one of those that will send it back. I'm not allergic to it, so it's fine. But, you know, it's not, sorry avocado toast. No, not getting on my Instagram. Favorite color. I think this is a tough one because I grew up being, like I said, a pink girl, a Barbie girl. Pink, a lot of pink. But then again, when it comes to wearing a color, I think I'm all neutral. I wear more color now. I realized some time ago that I kept associating pink with little girls, and no, everybody can wear pink. You're never too old to wear pink. What I prefer, speaking in English or Spanish, and it really depends who I'm talking to. With Arturo, my husband, although we met here in the States, we've always, you know, communicated in Spanish. So with him, it's very strange when we go out to lunch or something with friends that speak English, and I have to like, I sometimes switch, you know, we're speaking English and whatever, we're all talking, and then I have to say something in Arturo and I'll say it in Spanish. But then I have friends here that I would 100% prefer speaking English. I really, when it comes to this, like YouTube and my stories, I don't really have like one or the other. I think it depends on what we're talking about. So no, I think both. Sorry, that was like a little bit of a mumble talking to myself. I feel like this is a video that I want to use like a new chapter, a new start to sharing more on YouTube, talking a little bit more, sharing more personality, maybe getting a little bit more personal, and just sharing more. And like always, if you like this video, if you like this channel, don't forget to subscribe, comment, share it, like it, you know, the whole thing here on YouTube. And I hope to see you guys here again soon. Bye.